Okay, these are some things that are super misogynistic that you probably have never even realized before. And it needs to stop. When guys only respect women that they find attractive. The fact that being called too girly is an insult, but if a guy is too manly, it's praised. Fangirls are called crazy or insane, but if a man is a huge fan of a sports team, he's called loyal. When a guy buys condoms, it's a good thing, and it's safe, and it's smart, and it's being responsible and being educated. But when a girl buys condoms, it's like inferred that she's an SLUT. You should really smile more. Diaper changing stations only being in women's restrooms. The fact that I literally can't go out alone when it's nighttime. Also, I'm not hating on men or blaming men or anything. I'm literally just stating the facts, and it's pathetic.
You know, guys, something that you come to realize over time is the people who get upset and get angry and get butthurt when they get called crazy are typically the crazy ones, okay? You got this woman here sitting on TikTok, right, making her videos about how, oh, women are oppressed in this way, women have it hard in this way, okay, and making all these videos talking about how difficult her life is and how she can't go outside at night, and apparently that's just something that happens and is exclusive to women, guys. Like, all of these little points that she makes, guys, we're going to be pulling them apart one by one and just kind of going through this video right here, because this is something that floats around in society quite a lot at the moment, gentlemen, where there's this whole big push for women to victimize themselves and say, you know what, we have it so difficult, men have it so much easier than us, and special concessions should be made for us because we are women. Okay, don't be fooled, guys. They don't want equality, they want superiority. Now, before we continue on with today's show, I just want to kind of show you where we're at, guys. This video right here, the one we just watched, has 262.8 thousand likes on it, over 3,000 comments on it, and you know, just many people talking about how, oh, this is so true and whatever the case may be. Now, guys, we're going to be jumping into this and pulling this all apart, but what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And again, you may recognize this woman from a little while ago, gentlemen. She's got TikToks all over the place. So without further ado, we're going to break down this one before we continue on to the next. So let's see what she has to say one more time.
Okay, these are some things that are super misogynistic that you probably have never even realized before.
And this is the beauty, guys, of places like modern day university with all their gender studies degrees and whatnot, is the fact that they're sitting there in these classrooms and guys, it's just the level of societal brainwashing to convince women that they're all victims and they have it so difficult is absolutely insane. Like, because the thing is, guys, women will do this to each other. They'll go, you know what? I do have it so hard. And then she's going to go and talk to Stacey and she's going to be like, you know, Stacey, we've had it so hard because men have this privilege, right? And before you know it, all of the most privileged people on the planet seem to think that they have it so incredibly difficult. So again, things that you probably didn't realize were misogynistic are probably not misogynistic at all, and that's why people don't quote-unquote realize. But let's jump in.
And it needs to stop.
Oh, okay.
When guys only respect women that they find attractive.
You know, that one's really funny, right? You always see that I always see that brought up by girls who are not attractive. Right, I've seen this. Girls will like share this crap on social media, guys, where they're like, you know, Stacey, who's so much prettier than me, she gets so much more respect. And guys, I can actually see a little. I don't think that's misogynistic. Okay, that's something that's called human nature. Let me give you guys the reverse example of this. Right, which is that if you're a dude, let's just say you go out there, you're an okay-looking guy, right, and you go interact with a bunch of girls, and during the conversation where you interact, the girl figures out that, hey, maybe you're earning $300,000 a year. She is now going to treat you differently. Okay, that does not make her a misandrist because she treats you differently. And if she does, who the hell, guys, like, this is just human nature type crap. Okay, and a lot of guys, I'd also like to point out as well that a lot of guys won't treat you differently as a girl if you're unattractive, because a lot of men have been raised to be like, you know what, I'm going to respect women no matter what they do, no matter how they look, etc. And a lot of guys will just go out of their way to be polite to girls who, no matter what, because you know what, if a guy isn't polite to a girl in 2021, you're liable to not only deal with the girls who will make videos like this and get all up in arms and butthurt about it, but you're also going to have the white knights that come against you and be like, you know what? How come you treated her like that? Don't treat my queen like that, and so on and so forth.
The fact that being called too girly is an insult, but if a guy is too manly, it's praised. Fangirls are called crazy or insane, but if a man is a huge fan of a sports team, he's called loyal.
I mean, here's the thing, okay? If you're a fangirl, the reason why people are calling you crazy is because you're crazy. Right, guys, I think I'm getting a little bit of a flashback here. I don't know if we've covered this video previously or if perhaps she makes similar videos right here that have the trope of craziness in them, okay? But if you're a fangirl and people are calling you a crazy fangirl, it's because you're a crazy fangirl, right? You can be a fangirl without being crazy, I'm sure, okay? But the thing is, like, if somebody's calling you crazy, it's like it's not because of these people get so lost in it, man, where they just instantly go to victimizing themselves. They're like, you know what? It's not the fact that I could be crazy or that fangirls could be crazy in general. No, 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 no. This is oppression against women. It's obviously something set up by the patriarchy to make us feel bad about ourselves, rather than having any sort of introspection and realizing that they are, in fact, crazy.
When a guy buys condoms, it's a good thing, and it's safe, and it's smart, and it's being responsible and being educated. But when a girl buys condoms, it's like inferred that she's an SLUT.
Okay, let's talk about that for a moment before we briefly skim on over. The reason why that connection of dots is made is because girls are not buying those for themselves. Okay, if I go out and I buy those are for me. It's not as if I'm out here really sharing them with the boys or whatever the case may be. Okay, those are things that I bought for myself. If you're buying them for you, it's not necessarily for you. You see what I'm saying? It's like you can have multiple guys. It bothers me that we just can't do math in 2021, right? It's like we can't look at things objectively and realize how things actually work in any sort of numerical sense or linguistic sense. We just have to go straight to, you know what? I'm a victim, right? Because if I buy this, I'm perceived in a certain way. Yeah, no kidding, you're perceived in a certain way because the perception is oftentimes accurate. Okay, it's like these people get on here, right? And they'll do actions, and then they'll suck about being judged for the actions. It's like, of course you get judged for the actions, right? Like, that's the point. Okay, people will come to this channel and they'll watch these videos and they'll be like, man, your character looks stupid, or the things that you say are stupid, and that's fair, right? People are welcome to come and do that, but to pretend as though you're not out here doing actions and then you get upset when people see them, it's like, of course, right? Some people are not going to like it. People are going to judge you based on what you do. This whole, like, never judge a book on its cover, guys, like, it's interesting to me that these are the same girls who will advocate for, never judging a book on its cover, all that kind of stuff, but they will be the first people to judge a book on its cover. I mean, guys, you don't believe me? Okay, if you're if you're not a very attractive guy, you'll be treated by these women very differently to a man who is attractive. And yet these are the same girls who will sit on here complaining about the fact that ugly girls get treated worse than prettier girls, for example, as if they don't do the exact same behaviors, right?
You should really smile more.
And apparently that was one of the points right there. Apparently that's misogynistic to say that you should smile more, guys. Like, apparently we shouldn't be saying that. Okay, like, girls get really, you'd be surprised, guys, girls get really up in arms just over that one saying alone, by the way, telling them to smile more. For some reason, they just absolutely lose it. And what a perfect frame to freeze on, by the way, here.
Diaper changing stations only being in women's restrooms.
Yeah, it's almost like women look after children in early infancy, right? Generally speaking, right? And part of the reason for that, guys, is because, like, women, when they have children, the child is so intensely bonded to them for their early periods of their life, because the woman has, grown the child for such a long period of time. It's like, and a lot of these girls will take time off of work after having birth and stuff like that. So it's natural for those to be in women's changing rooms. It's like, yeah, the young child is typically with the mother. What a surprise. I don't understand how that's misogynistic. Especially, by the way, guys, can we talk about this for a second? Okay, those restrooms that are constructed for you, they're constructed by men, right? You get that. Okay. So it's like, okay, how about we just not put them in there at all? And then you'd suck about the fact that there are none in there at all. So like this is a matter of like, no matter what you give them, guys, they will always sit there and cry about something. Because apparently that's misogynistic to give them services for their children. Like, guys, only you can't make this up, right? You give them a service, and they sit here and they complain about receiving the service, right? It's like at a certain point. At what point, by the way, guys, do you say to yourself, just let them go? Just let them go. Let them be frustrated at everything. I'm not going to deal with it. And actually, I've actually missed today's question, which I'm going to pull up here momentarily. I actually had a bit of a Patreon question, which I forgot to mention earlier in the video. So I'm about to pull this up, guys. I got a question by a guy named SC. I'm not going to leak people's names for these Patreon questions, guys, but I had a question, and he said something approximating this. Where is society going with its censorship and blaming men for absolutely everything? Okay, guys, you'll notice that there's this general trend in society at the moment to blame men and the quote-unquote patriarchy for everything, right? Rather than accept any sort of accountability for their own decisions or say, you know what, we have gratitude for this or that. No. It's we're oppressed. We have it so difficult. So, guys, we're going to be kind of answering that question as we continue. And I forgot to bring it up earlier in today's episode, but we are almost finished with this TikTok, and then we'll continue on to some others.
The fact that I literally can't go out alone when it's nighttime.
You can, by the way, right? We're going to play that again, okay? Girls will always bring up this argument as if it's unsafe for them to go outside. You understand that it's also unsafe for men to go outside late at night by themselves, right? Like, it's unsafe no matter which gender you are, technically speaking, to go out there. To pretend as though this stuff only happens to girls, right? It's like, oh, crimes only get perpetrated against women. That's so untrue. That is so absolutely untrue, right? Girls seem to think that they're the only ones affected by going outside alone at night. It's like, if you're a dude and you go out alone outside at night, especially depending on what area you're in, what time of night, all that kind of stuff, it's like you're liable to get your ass beaten, depending on where you go as well, right? But apparently we're just not going to mention that, and apparently she can't go outside at all at nighttime. By the way, guys, she can't,
The fact that I literally can't go out alone when it's nighttime.
Oh, I literally can't go outside when it's nighttime because I'm a woman, right?
Also, I'm not hating on men or blaming men or anything. I'm literally just stating the facts, and it's pathetic.
Guys, I'm not going to even bother. I'm not going to even bother. We'll jump into some of these comments before we continue on to the next story to see what some of these people have to say. I've been thinking about the fangirl part a lot lately. How is being a fangirl suddenly an insult? Literally all the comments from the guys I've seen, it's funny how defensive they get when she's literally stating facts. Lamau, the boys saying this is wrong because they wouldn't know because they never will have to experience it. Stay in your lane, man child. So yeah, guys, if you disagree with anything that this woman said right here about, what constitutes misogyny in 2021, if you disagree, apparently you're a man child, by the way, which I always find it funny, right? The girls who throw out this stuff, it always seems to me like they're the ones who are sitting in their room crying at 2 a.m. eating ice cream over boys, right? And they're typically actually throwing insults at dudes who have careers and who go to the gym and eat healthy. And like, it's so funny, guys. The girls who will write TikToks like this are the same ones who are like, they're like man, women almost. Like if you reverse the insult, right? Or like a woman child or whatever the hell you want to call it. First one hits deep. The diaper changing stations is offensive in general. It's bad to put child rearing solely on women, and it's bad to ignore the fathers. Us girls shouldn't have to restrict ourselves from going out on late night walks, etc., just because men haven't been taught to respect women. X. The mentality of men in this comment section is basically the reason why I stopped dating. I went to the grocery store the other day and walked past the men's bathroom, and there was a changing table in there! Exclamation mark. Oh, there you go. They have apparently some changing tables. preach, but the diaper changing station is bad for men too. There are single fathers and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. POV, you came to the comments to see what misogynistic means. Oh my word. Okay, very, very interesting. But guys, let's continue on to today's next TikTok. And that one took a little while, so I'm not sure how far we will get into these, but we will take a look.
Okay, let's talk about my theory about why I feel like people hating cats is rooted in sexism. And when I say people, I mean it in a more societal sense than like an individual person. But let's break it down. Before I do want to say I got my bachelor's degree in women's studies. I really enjoy breaking down like feminist theories, breaking down sexism, misogyny, and looking at it in really niche ways. So no, this is not the forefront of feminism, just something that I enjoy analyzing.
Okay, we're going to pause it right there, guys. She spoke very, very quickly right there. But if you didn't catch what she said in the middle of that, she said that she has a woman's studies degree. A woman's studies degree is what she has apparently, right? Now, guys, as far as useless degrees go, that has to be like S tier, definitely up there insofar as useless things that you can acquire. And what is this shirt, by the way? This says equal rights meow on it. I am furious. Pause off my rights. Guys, why is it always like the most privileged individuals who will sit here and complain about their lack of rights? Like this woman is sitting here, right? You know, makeup on, got a lights on. Okay, she's probably in I don't know, but I'm assuming she's in a first world country. Okay, and yet she's sitting here complaining about her rights. Like, wow, guys, absolutely wow. You know, props to the universities, guys, for just absolutely milking these people of their money. You know, charging them thousands of dollars to brainwash them and give them absolutely nothing of utility in return. That's just absolutely amazing, guys. Can we get a round of applause for everybody, for all these girls willingly screwing themselves over to the universities and the state education? But anyway.
So there's kind of two major parts to this. There's like a historical context and then a more modern day one. We'll talk about the modern day one first.
Okay, and if you lost what she said because of my little rant there, she's saying that if you don't like cats, you don't like women. Okay.
In our current society, we have an obsession with binary, and we've created this absurd binary between cats and dogs, looking at them as complete opposites. Are you a dog or a cat person? We kind of assign dogs with men masculinity, man's best friend, and we assign cats with femininity and woman, cat lady. That's kind of where those things live. And because of that, there's this societal expectation that is thrown on cats that is really, really closely aligned with misogyny and things that we say towards women and feminine people.
I swear, man, if this goes towards the direction, which it already kind of has, that the cats are oppressed, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, how 2021 is this video, by the way? Okay, and here's the thing I want to talk about as well before we continue on. We might not get through this entire video because she talks about this for literally 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Man, I've lost my train of thought right here. Oh yeah, the stereotypes, okay? When people bring up crazy cat lady and they call you a crazy cat lady, that's a stereotype for a reason. Okay, a lot of these animals have a stereotype for a reason, right? Where dogs are loyal, okay? For example, it's oftentimes because they are, okay? And men typically, if you want to go down that road, I would definitely consider men to be a lot more loyal. But you know, the 6 women in the comments are probably going to be real frustrated at that one, okay? But there are stereotypes and they exist for a reason, okay? When you say a crazy cat lady, everybody knows exactly what the hell that is. Guys, I don't know if I've ever seen a crazy cat man in my life, but I've certainly seen crazy cat ladies before, especially, you know, pre-crazy cat ladies, guys. I think there's going to be just an absolute uprising of the amount of crazy cat ladies that we'll have going into the years 2021 and beyond because of the breakdown of the family unit. A lot of these girls are going to grow old and alone and not going to be able to secure a man, but that's a rant for another time, so let's continue.
If you pay close attention to the language people use against cats, people that don't like cats, language that they use for cats, you can kind of pick up on this. A lot of people don't like cats because they don't let them pet them whenever they want. It's like a boundary thing that they're annoyed at cats for having boundaries and setting boundaries.
As someone who very much doesn't like cats, I actually don't like cats because they're annoying. Okay, I've mentioned this in the previous video, guys, but the reason why I don't like cats is because they always rub up against you, man. Like, they do that. Like, if you're standing there, cats will come and do that stuff, right? Where they'll walk up to your feet and they'll like thread themselves through your feet, or they'll come and sit on you and be real annoying. Like I always just feel like I always found at least dogs to be far more pleasant and actually. I don't know, guys. Dogs to me actually kind of give me more personal space than cats do. I really don't like cats. Also, they really show up at inopportune moments as well. Like they just show up out of nowhere and expect it's like get out of here, man. Personally, I think cats lack boundaries, guys, more than dogs. But maybe that's just me.
Does that remind you of woman? We'll get annoyed that cats don't just do what you say like dogs do. We want them to be this obedient animal that just does whatever we say. And that's not who they are. And because we've placed this expectation on them that's not real, we hate them. It's
again, from someone who doesn't like cats, I would just like them to leave me alone. Like, literally the complete opposite of what she's saying.
strange. And it feels exactly to me like how we treat deviant women. And then historically, cats have been very, very closely linked with women and deviant women, specifically like witches, also a lot of goddesses. We don't see a lot of historical contexts where men and cats are closely linked. And this has directly led to the modern archetype that we have that dogs are boys and cats are girls. So when you kind of throw all that together, and also like analyzing like a cool girl doesn't like cats, a lame girl loves cats, just like a cool girl doesn't like feminine things and a lame girl loves feminine things. Men who are really, really deep in their toxic masculinity hate cats.
And there it is, guys. There it is, right? The toxic masculinity. Okay, if you could like, rank a whole bunch of red flags, maybe we'll do that one day, guys, where we'll build like a tier list of red flags. You know how you can set up those tier lists, right? Where you go S, A, B, C, D, S being the highest, D being the lowest, right? We might actually one day just set up a tier list where we rank red flags on some of the stuff that girls say or the behaviors that they do, or some of the things, whatever else, okay? And one of the things that would rank incredibly highly is when girls unironically use the term either like fragile male ego, or they say toxic masculinity and stuff like that. So apparently, guys, right, just to sum this up right here, if you don't like cats, you have toxic masculinity, right? And that's where we're at.
Cats normally, especially in a performative sense. This doesn't mean that men who love cats aren't toxic men. My abusive ex loved cats, but it's always a huge red flag.
And there we go. Okay, so her ex-boyfriend, obviously unable to choose partners correctly.
Flag to me when a man hates cats. Like, what do you really hate? Boundaries, disobedience, adorable fluffy things. Just feels misogynistic. And that's my theory, messily put together. And if you made it this long, you probably like cats and feminism, so I'm going to show you the shirt that I'm wearing that I designed.
Okay, and we're absolutely muting this for the remainder of the video, guys. But again, let me know what you think, right? We got a lot of different kinds of people that watch videos like this, guys. Are you more of a cat or a dog person? Let us know why in the comments, right? But it's funny, right? Because I strongly dislike cats, and not because they don't do what they're told or whatever. I actually find that they infringe more on my boundaries than anything, guys. Like, they come along, they put their butt in your face. Okay, they always find the need to rub against you, or just be incredibly annoying, especially like if you're a person who uses a computer, right? When I was growing up, man, we had a cat in the house, right? And I used to play like video games when I was a kid, okay? And the cat would just be so annoying walking all over the desk or anything like that. But anyway, we've gone a bit off topic for this for today's video. So I'm actually going to bring up the question one more time so we can kind of refocus what the hell we should actually be talking about here, and the focus of today's video. So where is society going with its censorship and blaming men for absolutely everything? Guys, I wanted to give kind of like a little bit of a brief answer before we continue, or at least my thoughts on this, okay? And I'm going to be a little bit vague here. I think that society is going into a very dark place, guys, where, you know what, if you don't agree with what these people say, if maybe you see things a little bit differently, or, goodness forbid, you don't like cats, okay? Apparently you're toxically masculine, all right? Society is going into a very dark place where people are going to become more and more divided, okay? It's either you're with us or you're against us. And the thing is that men will be, like, for dudes who don't get this, they're really going to have it the hardest, okay? Because they're going to go along with everything that these girls say, and they're just going to get absolutely ran through the ringer about this sort of stuff, guys. What with divorce and all that kind of stuff. But society is definitely heading towards a dark direction where a lot of these people seem to think that their opinion is infallible. Okay, and if you don't agree with them, then you're a terrible person. And because there's so many of these individuals, again, guys, I'll pull up the comments so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. Because there are so many of these individuals, again, this video having 22.1 thousand likes on it, which means it probably has well in excess of 100,000 views on it. Okay, this kind of stuff is like, these people, you know, I actually, I don't watch much YouTube, to be honest with you guys, but, and a lot of you are going to be quite shocked about this, but I only just started watching a couple of Tim Pool episodes literally yesterday, right? I knew very little about his show or whatever, but he pulled up a graph the other day and the difference between political parties, okay? And one of the things that he highlighted was that people, and I don't particularly get into politics on this channel. This is literally the first time I'm mentioning it. But a lot of the girls who, shall we say, politically align with a certain camp, they will not deal with people of the opposite camp. You see what I'm saying? Where these girls, they'll sit here, they'll make these videos, excuse me, and if they find out that you're a guy of a particular political leaning, or you don't agree with everything they say, or if you say, you know what, I don't want to deal with girls who say toxic masculinity unironically, they're not going to deal with you. Okay, because a lot of these girls, what they'll do, guys, is they will actually create moats around men who disagree with them. Right, this is why, guys, if you disagree with girls, oftentimes through breakups and stuff like that, you will oftentimes find yourself on the outer circle of that particular friend group, because the girl has gone and, you know, drawn like a social moat around you, you can almost call it. But that's what's happening in society, guys, where people are just splitting into camps, not wanting to talk to each other anymore. And to be quite honest with you, gentlemen, men are copping the most brunt of this, okay? They're going to have it the hardest, especially the guys who don't really understand what is going on. But let's continue on to today's next video.
If a dude is not obsessed with you, remove him from the rotation.
Now, guys, if you're wondering what she means here, so this is the person who runs the TikTok on the right-hand side. Maybe you're new to this side of the internet. When this woman right here says a rotation, what she means is, excuse me, a literal rotation of men. Like a literal rotation of men. A lot of these girls, they'll be out here, and they will actually date multiple dudes at a time. Okay, so, you know, a lot of guys come to this side of the internet and they hear things like, oh, you should date non-exclusively if you're going to date at all. A lot of guys over here will recommend not dating at all. But something you come to learn very quickly is the fact that a lot of these girls, they will see multiple dudes at a time, guys. So I'm going to play that through one more time so you can kind of get a picture here. But girls have rotations is kind of the point of this.
If a dude is not obsessed with you, remove him from the rotation.
And so basically she's saying, you know what, if you want to be one of the dudes that I mess with, which by the way, what a fantastic privilege to have, guys. Can you imagine, wow, how thrilling that would be, okay? If you're going to be one of the guys that she messes with, you have to treat her like a queen, put her on a pedestal. And the funny part about that, guys, is women who make videos like this and they say stuff like that, they don't even know what the hell they want. Because guys who put them on a pedestal and treat them like queens and stuff like that, oh, they'll treat those dudes like absolute garbage. This is why if you sit there and you send a girl a bunch of messages, excuse me, you know, you double text her and stuff like that, oh, you'll be left on red super. Like, that stuff will push away women, guys. They'll say, and like, oh, I want a guy who does this and that and this and that. But then as soon as you do those things, you're by the side of the road, essentially, okay? So don't believe any of this stuff, guys, where women will advocate for you to simp for them and go out here and do all these things, because it's absolutely not effective. But let's continue on to today's last video, and this one from memory hurt my head a little bit, so I'd like to warn you guys, but let's jump right in.
Are you trying to move on from someone, but everyone that you match with on the apps that you meet in real life, you don't feel the same connection with, so you keep running back? Well, know that everyone has these feelings. Also know that he wasn't special. The only reason why you feel that connection with your old guy is because of the time that you spent, the energy that you spent building that relationship. That is where the connection comes from. And if you spent time building this connection, keeping the conversation going with these guys on the apps or that you meet when you're out, it will eventually, over time, get to where it is.
And guys, this is the same woman, okay? This is the woman right here, by the way. So in this video, she's saying, you know what, I'm not going to deal with you unless you treat me like a queen and you treat me like you're obsessed with me.
I believe that.
And then this video right here, she's saying that she's always caught up on dudes who don't obsess with her. Right? Like you can't literally these things are entire opposites, guys. And this is exactly what I'm saying, okay, when I say that a lot of these girls, they don't know what the hell that they want. Okay, because they'll say one thing, but then they'll respond to another. With like videos like this, guys, she's basically saying that a lot of girls are still stuck on Chad. Okay, this is why a lot of girls will get into relationships and they'll still be caught up on that guy previously, is because they still want that validation from that guy. They still want to lock down a relationship with that successful guy that she dated in her 20s, but she doesn't have the option to do that now as she goes into her 30s and beyond.
That it was the specific guy that was special. It was only the connection that you yourself built. Think about the very first day that you matched with your ex or that you met him out in real life. Did you feel an immediate connection? No. Chances are you guys were talking about stupid things like the weather, how was your day, how was work, all the boring conversations that you're having with these new matches, these new guys that you meet when you're out, and you're like, oh, there's no connection. This isn't like talking to my ex where we could talk about anything, where we could joke about anything, where we had that connection. But remember, day one always starts out lame, right? So all you need to do right now is to keep the conversations going with new people. And over time, one of them will turn out to be exactly like or better than the things that you had with your ex.
And this is the thing, guys, where they think, okay, I'm going to break. It's funny to watch this, right? Because what this is it's a path to loneliness. It's a path to being single and alone at 40, because the idea that a lot of girls walk away when they hear stuff like this is, you know what? I can break up with my guy and I'm going to find an even better guy down the line. And of course, we all know the fact, guys, that when women spend all their time and they waste it all, they actually become less and less desirable. So their ability to get a man actually declines and they make the situation worse for themselves. So, you can screw around and you can go through guy after guy, but just realize every notch you add, every year you add, makes it more and more difficult for you, okay? And that right there is the funny part about the whole thing. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there, running a little bit over time. Make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments to some of the things that we have covered today. It's always interesting to see what you gentlemen have to say. Let us know you're a dog or a cat person and why. But otherwise, guys, we're going to be leaving it there. So as always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.